Hey everyone, I have another pet guide for you today. It's called the Spiderant Supernova. Shockingly enough, it's built around the Spiderant Scorcher and Gamma Burst. And the goal here is to destroy enemies with AoE damage while making you and your pet a walking tank. And I've had a lot of fun and success with this build, even in Slaughter Mayhem 3. So let's take a look at my skills. So I begin in the Hunter tree, trying to buff my damage, but mainly to unlock the Scorcher. And the main skill I want to focus on here is head count. So this isn't a crit build, but with this skill, critical hits reduce your action skill cooldown by 2 seconds, and this will come more in handy later on when we go over my gear. But first, let's move to the other skill trees. So the Stalker tree is focused around health regen and bonus health for Flak, but also some cooldown reduction for Gamma Burst with Eager to Impress. And you'll find some great synergy here with the Spiderant's passive health regen combined with self-repairing system, and Lick Your Wounds is also a staple since your pet can save you pretty easily with this build. The Master Tree is probably the most interesting. This is where the bulk of my points go, and my aim is to make my pet as self-sustaining as possible, but also give Flak access to more damage. A few key skills to point out: He Bites, or She Bites in this case, allows your Spiderant to build frenzy stacks quickly with groups of enemies, and Who Rescued Who is helpful as well, and helps keep your pet topped off with high damage AoE weapons fairly consistently. So with the Master Tree, I try to work my way down to pack tactics mainly, but I put a few points in Barbaric Yelp to allow for additional elemental damage as well as health regen bonuses. And it's a nice bonus since doing damage helps keep your pet alive in the long run. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a gamma based build, so the augments I use are Endurance and Empathic Rage, as well as Atomic Aroma. You can swap that out as well, just to maximize you and your pet's damage. But now that I've bored you rambling about my skills, let's look at my gear. So overall, gear is pretty important here. I'd recommend the Cutsman as your primary weapon. It comes in many elemental varieties, does so much damage to groups of enemies, and being able to crit multiple enemies at once will really help reduce your Gamma Burst cooldown with head count, and allows you to spam Gamma as much as possible. But some honorable mentions definitely go to the Lucian's Call and the Dictator, since they can get multiple crits as well and fill a different weapon slot. And the Flakker's pretty good even after the nerfs. So I'd pair these weapons with either a Stormfront or a Hex Grenade, since more damage equals more heals. Glad all those math classes came in handy. And for modifiers, you have a couple of options. For anything other than Slaughter Shaft, I think Red Fang is a great choice. It keeps pressure off you during Gamma Burst, allows easy stacks of Frenzy with He Bites, and for Slaughter Shaft though, there's just so much damage to go around that I usually switch out Red Fang for Allied Friend Bot. This is going to grant your pet 20% bonus damage, gives your pet second wind whenever you kill an enemy, which you'll be killing a lot of those. And with Red Fang overall, I just noticed that the aggro would cause my pet to get damaged too quickly, and I felt like even with Who Rescued Who and high damage weapons, I was trying to play catch up constantly to keep them alive once Gamma ended, when they become vulnerable. But this build makes Flak tanky as well by design, so it's okay to take some of that heat off of your pet. Overall, I really had a blast with this build. I feel like there's a pun in there somewhere. Your pet does pretty great damage against flesh enemies, does a great job of tanking damage for you, and you can combine this with some respectable damage bonuses for Flak. And you're going to find yourself really shredding groups of enemies without a lot of trouble with this. But there are definitely some higher damage builds out there. But this build just felt very safe to me. Even in Mayhem 3 and Slaughter Shaft, I felt like I was never really getting super close to dying. And the build really tapped into the Beastmaster playstyle because it makes your pet a really valuable part of your overall damage output. But give it a shot though, let me know what you think. And as always, thanks for watching.